Speaker. Ron Mark.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, having listened to those paltry contributions from the government members, it strikes me that probably paltry does indeed sum up the flap that this government is currently in. Something our MP from the Wairarapa, Alistair Scott, who incidentally used to run a chook farm and who is now infamous given his chicken run from South Wairarapa young farmers when he told them foreigners buying up farms ahead of Kiwi couples was a good thing. Alistair Scott, he actually told young farmers, and I thank him for that because I got all of their votes, Alistair. Thank you very much for that. But that's right, that's Alistair Scott, Mr. Speaker, our Wairarapa commuter MP, who last night referred to Wairarapa people, his constituents, as the locals in Wairarapa. I'm told he also thinks Bush Wairarapa is a forest somewhere out the back of Carterton. Of course, in recent days, poultry has figured high on the menu for ministers such as Nathan Guy and A.B. Adams, who tasted something that I've never had the opportunity to taste in the form of kiruru, which, if anything, judging by the fact that they were deep frozen roadkill apparently, and then the fact that the ministers are still with us perhaps proves that our food safety laws, Minister Adams, probably may be a little bit over or maybe undercooked depending whether you're Māori or not Māori. But there you go. And it's interesting, the views of Dame Tariana Turia of the Māori Party on kiruru, who has our party wondering if we will see a launch of a new iwi-fried kiruru brand featuring a kiruru double down, but obviously only for a limited time, because, as we know, this view was supported by Te Ururoa Flavel when he went out to bat for his former co-leader, who said that kiruru could be eaten in some circumstances, and I quote from him, for the benefit of the National Party who support this sort of thinking, and especially Minister Maggie Barry, who's sitting over there, I quote Mr. Flavel, "You know, we have our customs, our own tikanga about ensuring the preservation of kiruru, and within that ground, we could understand that it's okay by our people to take responsible decisions around that." I guess there's one rule for Māori and another rule for everybody else. What we'd like to know is what the Minister Maggie Barry's rule is. And I guess, actually, when we talk about it's interesting also when you look at the flagging poles of ACT and the Māori Party, maybe they should join up, because it was Jerry Ackle from the ACT Party that wanted to farm Kiwis and create the Kiwi burger as well. Interesting Māori Party ACT alliance we could see, but Maggie Barry might have a comment on it. But seriously, Mr. Speaker, tomorrow the Reserve Bank will cut interest rates as the economy cools. And the chickens will come home to roost. But only New Zealand First has a bill to help farmers from being crushed by foreign banks, and we know right now that the banking vultures are circling above our dairy farmers and young farming couples who are struggling under a debt burden. And we know that as land values fall and as stock values fall on these dairy farms, those banking vultures will move in. And the only thing standing between those young couples farming and the banks, the foreign-owned banks, is New Zealand First and our debt mediation bill. And isn't it an irony that the very people who seek to stop us from rescuing those farmers from the banking vultures who are circling is the National Party, the National Government, and the Wairarapa MP, Alistair Scott?
Mr. Speaker.